I think I've taken every opportunity I've been given. I was coming towards the end of my first postdoc contract and I wasn't really sure what I was going to do next, and it was the first time I'd been in redeployment, and I was thinking, oh, what do people do? How does this work? And I had a spare afternoon, so I was just surfing the internet for things that I thought could add to my CV and be interesting. And I made a list of the Royal Society Parliamentary Pairing Scheme, the British Science Association Media Fellowship and Soapbox Science. And I said, I want to do all three of these. And I applied for all of them repeatedly. I think Soapbox Science I got on the second application. British Science Association Media Fellowship I got on the second application. Parliamentary Pairing Scheme I got first time around. And those are probably the things that have changed me most as a person. I spend a lot of time doing things for Athena Swan now. I review for their panels, I review internally in the university. I really relish opportunities to broaden my experiences and to add something to my own mind, to my own skill set. And particularly the Parliamentary Pairing Scheme was not something I'd ever really thought about doing before. I didn't have any idea of how policies were formed in Parliament. I'd heard of our local MP, Lillian Greenwood, but I didn't really know anything about what they did in Parliament. So that was a really exciting opportunity to learn how they use science, or not, as the case may be, to make decisions. And that was a really reciprocal process, because I hosted Lillian in Nottingham for a day, and she came round both Ropewalk House and this department, the Speed Mansfield Imaging Centre, met a lot of my colleagues and learnt a bit about what we do, and you could see she was sort of visibly excited and moved by all of the things that we get up to. So that was a really rewarding experience. The Media Fellowship, I've always really valued the interaction between science and the media. When I was a very small child, I remember watching the Royal Institution Christmas lectures on television, and I think that disseminating science to the masses through media is an incredibly important job to do. And I think, to quote Jim Al-Khalili, you have to be, in order to be a good scientist, you have to do outreach, but in order to do good outreach, you also have to be a scientist. So I think it does fall to the role of the full-time jobbing scientist to do the outreach, and that's something that I consider definitely a responsibility. So the Media Fellowship was a really obvious thing for me to do. Spent a bit of time at the BBC, learnt about how fast they have to turn information around, learnt to not overvalue my writing so much, because you have to write 30 pages of something a day, and they'll sort of read one paragraph of it and say, I'll take this one, and the rest gets thrown out. And it really felt like a lot of my work wasn't being used, but it gives me a new perspective on how to write. So actually lots of aspects have added to lots of aspects of my sort of real work as well. I think it's been 100% productive for me to take time away from my research to do these things. It's always given me a completely new perspective when I come back. It means that I've had something to share with my colleagues, and something that I can collaborate with different departments, working with the media department at the university, being able to continue helping out where I can. It's been really valuable. I've never had too much trouble convincing my PI to go along with it. If I go into a meeting or a PDPR or something and I say I'd like to do this, it's something that's important to me, I'm lucky in that my PI has said, I don't know why, but I'll support you in it. So I think PIs do on the whole realise that personal development is important, and that they don't see personal development the same way that you see personal development. And so you need to take the reins on that. It's your personal development. You tell them what you need. I think if you're really unlucky and have an unsupportive PI, the university does have a lot of avenues for you to seek the support you need in that. And I would encourage you to do that.